Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Libra, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Judgment card, right? In a lot of ways, this kind of feels like there is a moment of reckoning that's going to take place this week. Maybe this is a conversation that you've needed to have. Maybe this is the realization of what a certain conversation that you've already had actually means. In some way, shape or form, I kind of feel like this this Judgment card is acting like a, not like the Tower, but in terms of like the realization energy, yes, it kind of feels like this is going to be a moment for you where a big moment of understanding kind of settles in, and it's kind of like, wow, okay, so this is the final judgment, like this is what it is, right? Whether this is you making a decision, whether it is you coming to understand what the only path of action is moving forward now that you have all of the facts. So this could be quite a big week for you, especially in terms of closing down or changing cycles in some way, shape or form. If you haven't got yours yet, your 2022 tarot scopes are up and out there for your viewing and purchasing pleasure. You can get those on the link in the description box below. So for your actions and options this week, you have the 5 of Cups. You've got this with the Judgment card, and there's a few ways that this could play out. One of them, I have to call a spade a spade. One of them is the potential to hear of a passing. What I can tell you is, if it's these two cards, it's usually somebody that's older, usually somebody that's reached the winter of their lives. It doesn't make it any less sad. It's not as surprising or as shocking, right? So that's just one way that this could show up for you. Now, when I was talking earlier about there being a reckoning, or this something coming full circle, it does feel very much like that, because you've got the 5 of Cups in your actions and options. This is you going through the process of mourning something, right? This is you going through the process of saying, wow, my relationship has now come to an end. My friendship, my partnership, maybe I'm done with this job. It's kind of like, and the weird thing is, I feel like whatever it is that's coming to an end hasn't quite yet. And it's like you're doing the mourning now before it even hits. And in a way that can be quite healing and quite cathartic, so that when the event actually takes place, it's not such a big issue to you. Like, it doesn't knock the wind out of your sails completely. So whatever, and I've had this just recently as an experience myself with something that is going on in the background, and it's just, I don't know why I feel like this is a prelude to something. It's kind of like whatever the reckoning is in regard to, it's like you're already doing the hard inner work that you're having to do around this now, so that when it actually hits, it really isn't such a big deal. Not that it's not going to hurt, etc., but it's like you've already you've already processed it in a way. For your communications and conversations, you have the Strength card, which in this deck is called the Crone. Right, look. And so this underneath the Judgment card with that 5 of Cups there, I am loath to say this could be grandparent energy, this could be mentor, somebody that's older than you, somebody that's wiser, somebody that you really look up to. You could hear of a passing this week, and I really hope I'm wrong on this front. I haven't had much great news for you guys for the last few weeks, so I apologize for that. But like I say to you all the time, it's funny, I had somebody on the Leo video say, oh, your videos are always positive for us, like it feels like you're the boy who cried wolf. And I'm like, dude, where have you been for the last 6 months? Like, Leos were absolutely getting hammered. Like, you've got to be new, right? Because when it's good, I will tell you. When it's bad, I will tell you. Now, for your communications, it's the Strength card. Whatever reckoning is coming up for you over the course of this week, it is going to require you to be present, and it is going to require you to dig deep. So it does look like there is a tough, challenging conversation that will need to be had this week, as well as you stepping forward. This could be as well through conversations that come up this week. Maybe yours is is discovered to be, or has to become, the firm hand on the tiller. Like, you're the one that's going to provide the base, the structure, the strength in some way, shape or form. So, you know, you might be thrust into some sort of leadership this week that you hadn't really expected. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, have the courage to stand alone, right? This is one of those weeks where you might find that yours is the unpopular opinion. You might find that yours is the voice that stands out, and everybody's kind of like, you know, doing that whole thing that people do. And this is one of those moments where you have to have the guts and the courage to stand alone, right? And this kind of feels like that. I don't know if you've heard there's a saying or a quote of some sort that comes from a study that basically says, if you have 10 people, one of those people steps out of line and says, no, I believe this so firmly that I'm willing to stand alone, the other 9 will fall in line. This feels very much like that kind of energy this week. For those of you that are employed, business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this is a situation that looks like it's coming back around for you to I don't want to say reveal. It feels like it's coming back around for you to close down. So maybe this is a challenge that you had with someone. Maybe it's a bone that you have to pick with someone. Maybe it's a vendetta that you have to pick with somebody. I don't know. You know, Libras don't really tend to be the type, to be fair. You know, it's rare, but I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's rare. But this, you know, there's something here that you are ready to end as a business owner. Maybe it's a service that you're deciding to retire. And that Strength card could be because, right, if I let go of this, I'm going to have to, you know, I'm literally halving my income. And so everything else that I've got going, I'm going to have to put time, energy and effort into. So there's a lot here, you know, in the world of work. When it comes to those of you that are retired or no longer working, this, I think, in a lot of ways is going to see you getting very clear on what you are prepared to use the rest of the time that you have on. And I think this will be you know, when Libras get hard, they get very black and white. And this kind of feels like one of those weeks where you're going to be like, right, okay, now that I have the information that I have, this is how we're moving forward. For your love and relations, you've got the Moon card. It's underneath the 5 of Cups. Okay, if you're single, I'm going to say this is a week where you're probably not thinking as clearly as you need to. Maybe this could be a week for a fling, but I don't see it being much more than that. And if you are connecting with someone, just be conscious, because you may not be getting the full version of who this person is, what their commitments are, where their mind or their intentions actually are. So just this week, please look after yourself in that regard. For those of you that are partnered, married or in long-term commitments, this looks like something that you're going to be dealing with as a family. And, you know, I really hope that I'm wrong, but it could be the passing of someone. It doesn't have to be a passing. It could also be an illness. Maybe somebody has an illness that they've been managing, but it takes a turn for the worst. Again, I really hope that I'm wrong on this front. In terms of the relationship itself, the Moon card suggests that this week there's a lot of unspoken stuff that's going to be floating around. So if things are weird, maybe you need to be the person to have the strength to say, look, shit is weird. Can we sit down? Can we talk? What's going on? For your money and materials, you've got the 5 of Swords. So you've got 2 5s here. 2 5s represent vigils, right? Which I now, because a vigil is such an old word now, but I kind of use this energy to represent what we really focus our mind to. And that Five of Swords is almost like there's something where somebody maybe has wronged you financially, where maybe you feel like somebody has cheated you financially, and this week you're all about speaking up. It's like where usually maybe you would seek that that diplomatic sort of resolution, you're not interested in that this week. It's like, no, we have to settle this now. And that's what I'm interested in. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is your system. So especially your nervous system. And with this much kind of sketchy energy, your nervous system and your emotions could really take a beating this week. So find a way to relieve your stress or your tension that is good to your body, that is kind to your body. All right. And then finally, when it comes to the home, there are upheavals here. I'm really sorry to say that it does look like a challenging week for you. I don't think there's anything that you can't get past or through, but I do feel like there's going to be a lot roiling on the inside for you guys, all right? And then finally, your new moon message is the Gate 26 and the Greater Good. So this new moon is likely to highlight opportunities for symbiotic connections and partnerships in some way, shape or form. Now, if somebody is out of their integrity and they're trying to take a bigger cut of something, you are going to call it like you see it. And I think that's actually a good thing. The new moon may also highlight to you where something is unevenly stacked. And if anything, again, that's a really good thing, right? So just be conscious this week that whatever or whoever you maybe get into bed with, so to speak, just make sure that their intentions are in the same place as yours, right? You have a lot of integrity naturally. It's part of who you are. It's just important that you're getting that same sense of reciprocity. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have as conscious a week as you possibly can. I wish you all of the best. Take care, and I'll see you soon.